Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Shabbat class. Okay, 16th of September 2023. We'll be picking up where we left off this morning, dealing with the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. You can go to our YouTube channel, check out Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have a bunch of videos on the channel. But we also have 2 other channels. You want to check them out. It's Israel Wake Up, and you got non-Messianic Conversations. But our main channel is Prophets of Awakening. So you check out those videos if you like them. I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll just take it from there. Okay. If you feel the need to subscribe, or if you feel the need to support the channel, you can check out our Cash App, which is running across the bottom of the screen. Okay. This is a non-Messianic channel, and by that we mean we deal with the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament, and the so-called Book of Remembrance, and in Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. So you hear me say it all the time, the Old Testament and the so-called Book of Remembrance. Well, let me show you where that's coming from right quick. We go to Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament. Okay. And you'll see that in chapter 3, it says the final lot for the righteous and the wicked, starting at verse 16, 17, and 18, last 3 chapters of Malachi 3. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I shall make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spares his own son that served him. Then shall ye return and discern between righteous and wicked, between him that served him and him that serves him not. So they all got together, our forefathers, understanding that what was going to happen to them, because it was prophesied to them by the prophets. They all came together and said what's going to happen. How their sons going to, their children, offspring going to get the word. So it says right here, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened. The Lord of hosts hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. Okay, that's why you hear me saying that. You want to clear that up. Okay, so with that being said, I want to say shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our evening Shabbat class. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, and I'll do our evening Shabbat prayer, Psalms, current events, and then we do a little need to know information. We'll open it up for some Q&A, and then we'll go into the topic dealing with the Torah. Okay, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts. All he's doing, we bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this time that you have set at the beginning of your Sabbath, at the end of your Sabbath day, that you have given unto us rest. We are thankful for your knowledge and the understanding that you have given unto us up to this point. We seek thy face on this Shabbat, that you shower us with peace and enlightenment and a sense of togetherness. Oh Lord, we see thy hand in the affairs of the world, and we know and understand that what you have spoken in the past will surely come to pass. Turn not thy face from us, but hearken unto his plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. All praises to thee. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to read a psalm right quick. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalms 38. It's a prayer of a penitent heart, a psalm of David. Okay. O Lord, rebuke me not in thy wrath, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. For thy arrows stick fast in me, and thy hand press me sore. There is no soundness in my flesh because of thine anger, neither is there any rest in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities are gone over my head. As a heavy burden, they are too heavy for me. That my wounds stink and are corrupt because of my foolishness. I am troubled. I am bowed down greatly. I am gone mourning after all day long. My loins are filled with a loathsome disease, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am feeble and sore broken. I have roared by reason of the disquietness of my heart. Lord, all my desires is before thee, and my groanings is not hid from thee. My heart panteth, my strength faileth me. As for the light of mine eyes, it also is gone from me. My lovers and my friends stand aloft from my sword, and my kinsmen stand afar off. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my heart speak mischief things and imagine deceit all the day long. But I, as a deaf man, heard not, and I was as a dumb man that opened not his mouth. Thus I was as a man that heareth not, and in whose mouth are no reproofs. For in thee, O Lord, do I hope. Thou wilt hear, O my Lord, O my God, O my Lord, O Lord my God. For I said, hear me, lest otherwise they should rejoice over me with my foot slipping. They magnify themselves against me, for I am ready to halt, and my sorrow is continually before me. For I will declare my iniquity, and I will be sorrowful for my sin. But my enemies are lively, and they are strong, and they that hate me wrongfully are multiplied. They also that render evil for good are my adversaries, because I follow the thing that good is. Forsake me not, O Lord, O my God, be not far from me. Make haste to help me, O Lord, for my salvation. Okay, so that was the Psalm of David is Psalm 38 is a prayer for a repentant heart. So this prayer right here says a lot about who David was, his countenance. Even though he had been raised up on high by the Lord, he still had a humble spirit, a humble heart. And when he found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong stuff, he had no problem with repenting about it and asking the Lord for forgiveness. And that's hard when you go through the scriptures in First and Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles. You see that was hard for a lot of those kings to do. They puffed up, but David had no problem with that. And we know that he was chosen because of that. He says he's a man after God's own heart. So just like Michael, just like David. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go to our current events. I was kind of dealing with some of this, the things that's happening when people not paying attention to exactly what it is that's going on, about the different events that's happening, weather events and stuff, and who behind it, and why they're not really zeroing in on it, because they don't understand who the God of Israel really is, what he's capable of, and what his roles are. So let's look at this right here.
Germany and France, September 13, 2023. where a
you have to go back and do the research on these videos.
destructive storm accompanied by history hailstorm hit these two European regions.
Rain, hail, freeze, and all that going on in Germany and France.
After a short but violent storm with heavy hail, the city of Worms in Rhineland, Palatinate, was transformed into a white winter landscape on Tuesday.
This was this week.
Photos of people protection websites show streets covered in white and close-up of massive hailstones. According to the special team, there were a total of 120 missions due to the storm by 10 p.m.
If you are over 40 and stopped working when she needs you.
Okay. Yeah, so I said you have to go back and look at that to get a full impact on it. Okay. And get someone like that here. Okay.
Were fighting for their lives. But this is what is happening with so much interference with normal weather activity from humans, from people wanting to create a better environment. Is it destroying the environment? That is the bigger question. The storms out there are dangerous. More and more storms are getting worse and worse each and every time one pops up. Check out this footage of the flooding in Atlanta on Thursday, and also prayers out to everyone in Atlanta, prayers out for everyone in the path of Hurricane Lee. So Friday afternoon, Atlanta police released some body cam video from officers and their adventure on Thursday during the downpour. The loud, intense, rapidly changing videos show fire rescue, Captain Terrence Simon scrambling to get a driver trapped in their car on a flooded Peachtree Street. So Peachtree, the downtown area of Atlanta, flooded. Clark Atlanta College flooded. The aquarium flooded. Guys, I didn't even know all of this was happening until the other day. So check this footage out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, pray for everybody out there that they're able to recoup and recover, and that no one was hurt or harmed during this horrific storm. A state of emergency was declared on Thursday in Atlanta. Governor Brian Kemp is declaring a state of emergency due to the 40-year high inflation. As part of the declaration, the governor is temporarily suspending the state's tax on motor and locomotive fuel to provide direct relief to families throughout the state. While high prices continue to hit family budgets, hardworking Georgians deserve real relief. I'm glad to hear it, says one customer. It sounds good, says another. With the gas tax suspended, Georgians will save 31 cents per gallon on gas and 35 cents per gallon on diesel fuel. This executive order will go into effect on Wednesday, September 13th at 12 a.m. and will remain in effect until 11:59 on October 12, 2023. This could help people save a lot. They say consumers should expect the suspension to begin impacting prices after several days. In other state of emergency news, Governor Healy declares a state of emergency ahead of Hurricane Lee, activates the National Guard. The governor of Boston said that she was asking for about 50 National Guard members to assist in storm preparation and response, including operating high water vehicles. Healy asked the Federal Emergency Management Agency, called FEMA, to issue a pre-disaster emergency declaration, which would make Massachusetts eligible for federal assistance and not have to wait. Excuse the noise, my husband's outside working on our mower. The MBTA has canceled ferry service after Friday evening's commute and on Saturday. Normal operations will resume on Sunday. The Steamship Authority will also suspend service after Friday evening commute and through Saturday. The Registry of Motor Vehicles will close several locations in eastern Massachusetts on Saturday, and road test appointments have been postponed. Mass DOT may restrict truck travel on certain bridges if wind reaches upwards of 75 miles per hour. Passengers traveling into or out of Logan Airport are advised to check with their airlines on their flight's status. The Department of Conservation and Recreation, DCR, has reached out to campers with reservations for the weekend and offered them the chance to either cancel at no cost or transfer to another campground outside of the storm area.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody hear anything about any of that? Okay. Got some need to know information right here.
These are coming to take your privacy away. Get ready for the central bank digital currency and to help basically lose your privacy. Your ability to pay for things in cash, severely limited or totally eliminated, actually, is quietly coming to the West. But other countries are saying, no thanks, this is a bridge too far. We will get there in a moment. But first, a troubling trend right now of banks across the United States randomly deciding to shut down bank accounts with no reason given whatsoever. Imagine now you have no choice, right? Because now I don't have a bank account. I can't use a bank, so I'm being forced to use a central bank digital currency because I have no bank. So what's going on here? 3 separate coin shop owners over the past few days that sell gold, silver coins suddenly found their bank accounts just totally shut down. The coin shop owner, who operates a coin shop dealing in silver and gold, received certified letters from the bank saying, hey, we're going to start the shutting down process. Watch.
I'll read some of the letter to you guys.
This simple method helps to rebuild your lungs and remove tar.
Heard of this happening before. I just didn't believe that it would happen to me. So, dear customer, we're writing about your account. After a recent review, we have decided to end our relationship with you and close your accounts referenced above. As stated in your account agreement, we can close your account at any time for any reason, with or without notice. We will begin our closing process on September 6, 2023. So they gave me basically a month. And in the letter, it says they're going to close even my credit cards I have with them. Isn't that nice of them?
That's very nice of them. You even close your credit cards. What's shocking is that the bank declined to provide any reason at all for their abrupt decision. We've heard a number of stories of people being debanked over the past few weeks here at the end of the summer. Our friends over at the Gray Zone suddenly found out that their GoFundMe pages were shut down.
We saw that during the pandemic. Parents groups who lost their PayPal accounts for advocating for school reopening.
Trucker Convoy in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is not new, but now these letters are coming, and without any prior notice, affecting multiple accounts, including those belonging to his children and wife, also shut down, like you shutting down your children's accounts too? For what reason? And there's no recourse. What can you do? What can you do? So federal governments are terrified of cryptocurrencies, and they don't want you stocking up on gold and silver. They absolutely don't want that. They want you to use their currency, which they can print and create out of thin air, that they have total control over. That's why these companies are being sued out of existence. A lot of these crypto companies are being sued out of existence because they don't want it to be legal. They want crypto to be illegal. And they don't want companies to operate in this way. The governments want control. So now central bank digital currencies are coming, whether these countries are ready or not, according to the Wall Street Journal. And the CBDC is putting the government at the center of every single transaction, gives the government's visibility into financial transactions, the ability to revoke money at any time. They don't like what you're spending it on, tracking, of course, of gun sales, etc. It doesn't matter. They will revoke it. They will revoke your ability to buy these things. They've already been laying the groundwork for this during COVID, taking away cash. They don't want you to use cash. They told us stay away from cash, of course, because COVID could live on the surfaces of that. And we're hearing it again now as we enter this new phase of COVID this fall. Watch.
Well, health experts say the coronavirus can live on surfaces like cash for up to 10 days. That has many people worried about shopping and other everyday tasks.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of these people that news station interviewed are really concerned about cash.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really.
They don't want it.
We have a team of reporters tonight covering cash and how it's killing you. What's happening now, of course, dozens of countries have now moved out of the pilot program phase for the CBDCs. They're now getting close to launching their central bank digital currencies.
Can I just say, that reminds me of, like, we're not children where your mom says don't put pennies in your mouth. Like, I'm over that. I know better.
Yeah.
Right? I know money's dirty. I know to wash my hands.
If I'm ever, when I'm sitting there like Scrooge McDuck and I'm fumbling through all of my gold coins, when I swim, when I take my bath every morning and I swim through my gold coins, I get out and then I take a shower.
Okay, good for you.
When I play with my giant piles of cash and I'm rolling around in my coronavirus cash.
You don't eat right after.
I don't eat. I wash my hands after playing with my coronavirus cash.
It doesn't go like cash burrito. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm an adult. I can handle it. So now these dozens of countries are now moved out of this pilot program phase, and they're getting closer to launching their CBDCs. Here is the CBDC tracking map to show you where things stand right now. So see if you can spot your country of choice here on this map. Let's just kind of go through what we're seeing here. Now, in pink is the 11 have launched. 21 pilot programs being developed in the development stage right now. The United States in the development stage, Canada, Mexico in the development stage, all of North America in the development stage, Brazil in the development stage, and you can see again a lot of these turquoise, Colombia in the development stage, and then you have some of these in purple, which are in the launched phase. And you already have some that have said, we're done with these things. Like we're sort of inactive on these because we just don't think that it's working. And now you have some who are saying, we're done. Senegal is saying, we're done with this. Nigeria also reporting that we're done with this. And you see some pilot programs, Russia, Kazakhstan, Australia. But yeah, you're starting to get some blowback now from some of these countries. They're saying, we're not going to use this anymore. We've given it a chance, and we think that it's a terrible idea. So for instance, 5 more countries have now abandoned CBDCs. So just kind of going through some of these countries here, Denmark, Japan, Ecuador, Japan specifically saying we tried it in 2020. We're not doing it anymore. Finland as well. And you have these countries that are saying, we're not going to do it. We've given it a chance. Ecuador, Denmark, Finland, and Senegal as well, saying we're done with this. Nigeria is perhaps the biggest and most recent disaster case for CBDCs.
Even the countries that say that they're still in pilot program, Carol Roth in her book points out that China boasted really high adoption of CBDC accounts, but the average deposit was like $1 or between $1 and $3. So people had them and they were like, I don't think I really want to use it. I'll just put $1 and have it, see what comes of it. They're in a holding pattern. That doesn't mean that it's taking off by any measure.
No, and China, by the way, has also built their CBDCs with the use of banks as well. So it's in fact different than the way that the United States wants to do it, which is a federal program. Of course, now we know the largest banks in the United States have come out of this FedNow pilot program and are fully up and running on this for transactions. So this is happening. So the back end FedNow program, which will settle transactions using the Fed, using this sort of digital FedNow currency behind Citibank, Bank of America, all those pilot programs that were rolled out, it's coming. It's absolutely covering. So CBDC would replace the current treasury control of the currency and replace it with a Fed control of the currency. And this would change the dollar forever, absolutely change the dollar forever. And the Fed is not elected. It can do basically whatever it wants. It barely answers to Congress. I mean, it's a joke to think that it even really answers to Congress. They like to pretend that they do. but they are omnipotent. They don't answer to Congress. They don't answer to you as a voter. They don't answer to anybody, and they will completely control the money supply. And the currency would be fully digitally controlled by them. Governor DeSantis in Florida is the only candidate saying no to CBDCs. No other presidential candidate, by the way, is saying no to this. He's introduced legislation that would make it illegal in Florida for CBDCs, calling it the Big Brother's digital dollar, and saying Florida would prohibit the use of federally sanctioned CBDC as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code.
Okay. Anybody heard anything about that? Okay.
No, sir. I have Shalom. I haven't heard anything about that, but to me, listening how many are debunking it who don't want it, and then as far as the United States, when they first started to come out with that, it's to me it will be like years down the line, like probably 2035, because there's too much transactions going on with the hand of money versus swiping the card. There's a lot of things that you have to, or not have to, but having that physical money, the tangible money in your hand. There's a lot of products like these old mom and pop stores until they rule them out, and then just normal transaction with money. It's going to be something to see if they come into that point to take it away.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. We'll open it up for some Q&A before we go into the lesson. Anybody have any questions or comments about this morning, last night, during the week, anything that they came across they didn't fully understand or that they want to share? Okay.
There's,
So,
yeah. Okay.
okay.
Go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Now go ahead.
No, I came down with the sniffles, so I fell asleep, and I was going to do some studying because I missed some of this morning's, discussion and last night's discussion. So I just got to brief myself again on it later. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. You can check the videos out. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, yes. Like I said, I pick up what I left out this morning. I'm dealing with the Tanakh. So this morning I was in Deuteronomy, reading out of there. So what I'm gonna read now is once they got into Israel, came out of Egypt, they got into the land, and then they got their land, and it was time to start dealing with them being stationary in the land of Canaan and start to build a nation. We're gonna pick up some of the things that was commanded by them and the things they start setting in place. So I'm in Exodus 31. Okay. Okay. It's the craftsmen to be employed, right? It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, see, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uriah, the son of Hu, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge, in all manner of workmanship. So we see right here, they need craftsmen, right? So the Most High, they called out Israelites and he endowed them with the understanding of how to deal with be craftsmen, different, dealing with different things when it comes to woodworking, dealing with stones, cutting stone and all that. He put a spirit on them for them to be able to deal with that. I'm going to read verse 3 again. The Lord of hosts tells this to Moses. and I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and in understanding and in the knowledge and in the manner of all workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in cutting the stones, to set them, and in carving the timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I beheld, I have given with him Ahalib, the son of Ashimach of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted, I have put wisdom. Says, and behold, verse 6, this 31, Exodus 31:6 says, behold, I have given him Amalek, the son of Ashkenaz, the tribe of Dan, in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted. I have put wisdom that they make all that I have commanded thee, in the tabernacle of the congregation, and the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table, and the furniture, and the pure candlestick with all its furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offerings, offering with all furniture, and the laver and its foot, and the clothes of the service, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and for the garments of his sons to minister in the priest office. So let's look at that right quick to connect this dot. So it says, he said, this for the Levites, right? He says, in verse 7, 31, Exodus 31:7, the tabernacle of the congregation, and the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat, all this is within the temple that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table and the furniture, and the pure candlestick with all its furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offerings with all its furniture, and the laver and the foot. It said, at verse 10, and the clothes of service. So they got certain robes they have to wear while they're in service. It said the clothes of service and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments for his sons to minister in the priest's office. So you go to Isaiah 52, like I was saying before, trying to rightly divide who the suffering servant is. You go to Isaiah 52. It's right there. You see it. It says Isaiah 53, 52, 13, 14, and 15. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. As many were astonished at thee, his vestige was so marred, more than any man in his form. So what vestige? Right here. I just read Exodus 31 in verse 10. The clothes of service and the holy garments for Aaron and the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest office. So these priests. So that's what he's talking about over here. And know that the Levites was attached, joined to the priesthood, to Aaron's lineage. So we see right here it says, verse 13, behold, my servant shall deal prudently, he shall be exalted and exalted. So what is he saying right there? They're gonna return to their position of where they're supposed to be at with their holy garments. That's how they get exalted. In verse 14, Isaiah 52, 13 and 14, 15. 14 says, as many were astonished at thee, his vestige. I just read what it was. His garments, the holy garments. His vestige was so marred, more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. Being 15, so shall he sprinkle many nations. The king shall put shall shut their mouths at him with that which had not been told them, they shall see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. So when they see, when these same people that they didn't denigrated and made them 2/3 human, all of a sudden they see them in a rightful position. The Most High, the Lord hosts bring them back to their rightful position with these holy garments. They're standing there and they're astonished because these are the same people that you had denigrated for centuries. Okay. So verse 12, Exodus 31:12, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbath ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout all your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord, that do sanctify you. And ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is a holy unto you. Everyone that dealeth it, defileth it, shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout all their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Right? And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communion with him upon the Mount Sinai, 2 tablets of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. Okay, those are Exodus 31. Any comments? Okay, Exodus 32. This the Exodus 32. All right, let me read it. It says, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. Okay. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off their golden earrings which are in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and he fashioned it with a graven stone after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be the gods of Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So, like I was saying before, how we're astonished by the information that the Most High allowed you to receive, and how what it's done to you and grow, it caused you to grow, and you got a foundation under you. And then when you deal with other people, and you see that they're not receiving this, or they don't care, and you say you're astonished at it, right? Well, let's look at this right here, because we just saw in 31 that he put a spirit on certain men and caused them to be able to be craftsmen, how to fashion gold and all this stuff. And then not only that, we saw in Isaiah chapter 3, we was reading the other night, Friday night, about Friday night, about could have been Thursday night, but it was about the daughters of Zion, and it listed all the stuff they had, and I went and showed you where they got it from. Most High was blessing the men, and then the men was giving it to them. But just, the sister that we was listening to wanted you to think that they got the ability to go out and get it on their own and all that. No, the Most High got a responsibility. It's like with the Levites. He took them from among the tribes of Israel. It's just, and they don't have no inheritance. They don't have no land or none of this stuff in order to keep to plant crops and the farm animals and all that. So he got that responsibility on him to feed them. So at the same time, when they cutting and chopping up those sacrifices, part of it belonged to them, and part of it belonged to him. So the same thing right here. That's what he's doing with the women. That's how they received all the stuff that you're reading about in Isaiah. So notice right here in verse 2, okay, he gave Israelite men this cunning wisdom to be able to deal with all these different workmanships and craftsmanship, and all the gold and silver that he caused the Egyptians to cough up and gave to the Israelite man. Let's read it again. Let's see, look at how they felt about it. I'm in Exodus 32:2. And Aaron said unto them, Aaron the high priest now, Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings. See that? Which are in the ears of your wives. See that? Telling the men to do this, because they the one gave it to them. Break off the earrings which are in your ears of your wives and your sons and your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which was in their ears and brought them to Aaron. Okay, so there go one of them right there. Yeah, I mean, you know, he came with the 10 plagues and beat that out of the Egyptian. And gave it to them. They don't appreciate it. This is what they do. Verse 4. And he received them at their hand, and then look at this, and fashioned it with a graving tool. After he had made it, the molten calf, and they said, these be the gods of Israel, which they brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So what we looking at? Well, he gave them the gold and all the silver. They took it, and then he gave them the ability to fashion it. And the skill he gave them to do it with, they made another god. And so you got people astonished at the day what these Negroes doing. Look at that. Okay? So anyway, verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built the altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And people sat down to eat and drank and rose up to play. And the Lord said unto Moses, go, get thee down, for the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt has corrupted themselves. So not only did he give them, he beat the gold and silver out of the Egyptians and gave it to them, and he gave them the skill, the craftsmanship on how to fashion it. But he also, look right here, it says 6. They rose up early in the morning, offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. He gave them the burnt offerings. He gave them the understanding of the burnt offering and the peace offering. They took all that and made a damn idol with it. And it's right there. He there. He right there. Okay? And they turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. And they made them a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed thereunto and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses besought the Lord his God and said, Lord, why doest thou wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt with a great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn off thy fierce anger and repent of this evil against thy people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swore by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and that all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And the Lord repented of the evil which he had thought to do unto his people. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and 2 tablets of testimony were in his hand, and tables was written on both of their sides, on the right side and on the other were they written. And the tables were the work of God, and the writings was the writings of God given upon tables. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, this is the noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing of them, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hand and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire and ground it to powder and strode it upon the waters and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall be before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what he become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever have any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it unto me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, and Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who on the Lord's side, let him come up unto me, and all the sons of Levi gather themselves together unto him. I'm going to read that again. 26. He's talking to all Israel, they all there, great multitude. Then Moses stood in the gates of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. Look at this. All the sons of Levi, there they go again, gather themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, go in and out from the gate to gate throughout the camp, slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. Right? So we say, what are you talking about? I told you he ain't got them doing nothing that you know how these angels do. So you go to Ezekiel, right? 31. Ezekiel 31. My bad. Ezekiel 9. Ezekiel 9, starting at verse 1, it says, he cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, every man with a destroying weapon in his hand. Same thing we just read. Then verse 2, and behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man with a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, and the writer's ink on his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of God of Israel was gone up from the cherubim. Wherefore upon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's ink on by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, set a mark upon the forehead of all the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. And the others, he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, smite, and let thy eyes not spare, neither have ye pity. So these angels, these are 7 angels. So what he got the Levites doing over here ain't nothing no different than what these angels do in Ezekiel chapter 9, right? Okay. So where was I at? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 28. And the children of Levi did according to all the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. And Moses had said, consecrate thyself today to the Lord, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto the Lord, pre-adventure. I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book, which thou hast written. And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of this book. Therefore, now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee, and behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in that day when I visit, I will visit their sins upon them, and the Lord's plague the people because they made the calf which Moses had made. Okay, so that was Exodus chapter 32. Anybody have any comments on that? So yeah, like I was saying before, you can see over and over again, it's not some far-fetched thing you got the Israelites doing than what the angels ain't doing. It's all justified. You ain't telling them to do nothing that you don't have them doing. Okay, and so that's why it's the utmost important to understand what's really going on, what's the order is, and all that, because you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong stuff in the dark. Okay. So, with that being said, anybody have any comments or anything? We right at an hour. That's my objective, is try to do an hour in the evening on my this evening Sabbath class to close out the Shabbat. Anybody have any comments? Like I said this morning, I thought it was a pretty good class. I enjoyed it. I hope that y'all got something out of it. Okay. So everybody good? Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Shalom. I see everybody Tuesday at for advanced Bible study. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Wow.
Shalom.